In this video, we'll cover a brief introduction to ArcGIS Pro add-in user interface styling. Here's our agenda. We'll start with a quick overview discussion with a couple slides. First on the new UI themes, which is a personalization setting providing for viewing the Pro UI in either a light or a dark theme. This is new with ArcGIS Pro 1.4, and we'll talk about its effect on Pro add-ins. Next, we'll walk through the styling resources that are available to help you get started with updating your add-ins so that they'll look great in both the light and the dark themes. Next, we'll give you a couple brief demonstrations walking through two ArcGIS Pro SDK community samples that focus on add-in styling. Okay, so with ArcGIS Pro 1.4, there's a new setting which allows you to view Pro in either a light or a dark theme. The new dark theme provides high contrast support, which can help some users in viewing Pro. When changing from the light to the new dark theme, all of the standard Pro UI windows and controls, text, etc., will flip to an appropriate color and style for maximum visibility. This will automatically adjust for all of the standard out-of-the-box aspects of Pro. I'm pretty sure those of you who have been doing development have already tried this out in Visual Studio, which has this capability with its dark, light, and blue themes. So when it comes to building your Pro add-ins, it's important to remember to style your controls in a way that will show well in both the light and the new dark theme. For now, let me just point out that in referencing the new style guide document on the SDK Wiki documentation page, you'll find all the information you need for standardizing your add-in to properly flip for maximum visibility based on the theme that you choose. You'll find that this is a fairly straightforward process of choosing an Esri style, which you designate with the dynamic resource WPF-specific markup extension. You can see a code snippet in the lower right-hand corner of the slide. This provides a value for a XAML property attribute by deferring the value to be a reference to a defined resource. So it's like a runtime lookup. And again, for the majority of cases, the most important thing to remember is to use the Esri standard styles as you specify your UI control brushes, colors, etc. And again, these will automatically alternate to an equally legible brush or color as you move to the other theme. Okay, so here are some of the Pro styling resources that are available. At the top of the list is the Style Guide Pro Guide document I just mentioned. This should be your go-to resource for how to style the UI controls in your add-in so that they properly alternate between the light and the dark themes. The document walks through each of the common Pro and WPF controls for your add-in's UI and how to use the Esri standard controls. It provides good examples which can be used with dynamic resource and includes some code snippets showing you how you can set it up. It also provides some of the caveats which you may need to be aware of depending on the type of control that you're using. Next is the Esri Brushes document, which provides a nice color-coded rendering of each of the standard Esri brushes with their color hex code. These are all prefixed with the Esri _ naming convention and allow you to easily see what you're going to get as you define them in the light theme view. Next is the Esri Colors document, and this is a very brief document which lists the Esri colors which are prefixed with the Esri _ color prefix. And in the majority of cases, you will be working with brushes, not with WPF colors. Although in certain situations, you may need these colors. Some examples include when you need a drop shadow or other highlight color for custom styling of list box items, or for hover text colors or tooltips. Next is the new Pro Guide doc, Applying Custom Styles. And this is helpful when you need to go beyond the Esri standard styles, which again automatically flip to an appropriate alternate brush or color in the alternate light or dark theme. And this guide provides a walkthrough on how to set up custom styles for your add-in using custom resource dictionaries. And finally, there are two SDK community samples, which provide a walkthrough of the styling concepts, which will be helpful to check out as you get started. And we'll take a look at each of these next in our demonstration. Okay, so there are two styling samples available on the Pro SDK community sample site, and both are found in the framework folder section, where you'll see the list shown in the screenshot on the right with two red outline samples. First, at the top is the custom styling sample, which can help you when you need to see an example of how to move beyond the Esri standard brushes and colors. And the next one is the Styling with ArcGIS Pro sample, which has been around for a couple releases, but is now even more relevant because it allows you to view how some of the Esri standard styles will look in a custom dock pane. Okay, so here we are at the ArcGIS Pro SDK wiki documentation page on GitHub. And we can find our UI resources here in the framework topic. We scroll down on the right-hand margin, you'll find the framework topic here. And if we scroll down to the bottom of that, right above content, you'll find this new styling section. And here are each one of those resources that we had talked about earlier in terms of the Pro guides. Here's the new style guide. We'll open that up. Here, as you can see, there's the full list of different controls that we can go through. Just click on buttons. Here's the new buttons styles and checkboxes and colors. And here's those code snippets we were talking about. And this is just a great resource for you as you get started to understand how to style each one of your controls. And next here is the Applying Custom Styles guide. And we'll look at this in a little bit. Again, when we look at the custom styling sample. And again, this provides a walkthrough, as most Pro guides do, how to actually create a working solution that's going to help you understand a certain type of concept. In this case, it is custom styling. And we'll come back to this in a few minutes, but again, this is going to be your main reference for how to move beyond the Esri standard styles and apply your own custom style. And next we had the Esri brushes. We had talked about that a little bit earlier. Again, this is a nice way of looking at all the Esri standard colors that are out there that you can use, and with your dynamic resource, make that flip correctly in the alternate theme that you apply. And same thing with Esri colors here. But this one, again, most likely you're going to be just fine with the Esri standard styles and won't have to actually apply Esri colors in most cases. All right, so last thing to show you here on the website are the samples. And again, we'll show you where we can find each one of these new UI samples as well. But just want you to know that overall, for 1.4, all of the community samples here have been updated to provide you a solution that's going to actually work in both the light and the dark themes. So the Pro SDK team has taken the time to update each one of these samples so that they can properly do that flip between light and dark themes. And so you can go in and take a look and check out each one of those samples and see how they kind of work. You might be already familiar with many of them and know which one will be best for you to take a look at based upon the type of controls you're using. Here's the framework topic. And again, as we had talked about earlier, here's our custom styling. And we're going to come back to this after we go through the styling with ArcGIS Pro sample. But again, this provides you a great way to actually see the end result of the Pro guide on custom styling. and see how that works when you're flipping between light theme and, in this case over here, dark theme. So great reference for you to kind of get started with that. And as we look down at the bottom here, here's our styling with ArcGIS Pro. And this is the one that we actually want to show first because, again, this one's been around for a while and really gives you a nice sort of overview of how different styles for controls actually look inside of ArcGIS Pro and work within a custom dock pane. And actually it's kind of cool because it provides you a way of taking a look at some of the different dynamic resource code snippets that are available to you to actually use in your add-ins. And so not only for controls, but in this case you can see for colors as well. And here's a screenshot of it working in the dark theme. So let's take a look at Visual Studio. Probably the first thing that you want to kind of take into consideration here is the fact that you do have in this styling with ArcGIS Pro sample, the dock pane here kind of with the different types of controls and how it's actually going to be presenting the resource dictionary information as well as just a simple XAML, which can be used as an attribute when you're specifying a brush or a color or whatever might pertain in case as you're running the add-in to the add-in that you're building. So let's start this up and we can see how this kind of looks inside of Pro and work with both the controls and the colors. All right, so Pro starts up here and we're just going to look over here and there's a new UI design tab that's placed with this styling with ArcGIS Pro. And the first pane will pop up is the control styles. And you had just seen in the design view how this kind of looks and kind of behaves. So what it allows you to do is really kind of just switch between the different types of controls. And this sample actually just shows you 3, but they're kind of useful here. We'll start first with buttons, and these are the available styles. And you can see that in this case we've got a back button. And this is how it actually would look in your dock pane. And we can switch over to a back button that's small, forward small, and on and on. You can see here there's about 10 different samples that you can use. Here's your standard close button. And again, you can kind of just get a feel for how it looks, but potentially more importantly down here is the resource dictionary snippet that you can copy and use in your add-ins based on the type of control that you're looking at, or actually use the actual styling attribute here that you can pop into your XAML code for whatever control you're using. And again, we'll just take a look quickly here at checkbox. There's only one style of checkbox to actually use, but again, you can kind of get a feel for how these type of controls actually look and how to apply standard Esri styles to your actual controls. So in the case of buttons, again, you might be dropping down just a standard WPF control, but once you apply the Esri style to it, that's when you're actually going to see that actually updating to the back button and so forth. All right, let's take a look at the colors. So we're going to open up the color pane here. You can see these are the ArcGIS Pro standard colors with the standard naming convention with the Esri _ prefix and with the name of the color and the color number and however it might be designated. These are the Esri standard colors, and again, these are the colors that you would use, and make sure that you're applying the right color that you need, and then these will again flip as you alternate between light and dark theme. What's nice as you pick these, you can see that the sample is actually showing you, as you saw the controls updating before, you're actually going to be able to see the color update as you're picking it. So you can kind of get a really good feel for how it's going to actually look in each one of your add-ins. And just as before, you're going to see the code snippet for the resource dictionary and the XAML code for how you're going to pop in the dynamic resource as an attribute for that label or whatever might be needing that Esri standard color. All right. So these are really kind of useful, and you can just get a feel for how they're actually being used and applied in an actual working add-in. So the next sample we want to take a look at is the custom styling sample. But before we actually get into taking a look at this and how it actually works, I want to just draw your attention again to the Pro Guide applying custom styles. Now this Pro Guide actually provides you the walkthrough on how to actually create what this sample is actually providing you. So all of the whole walkthrough for this Pro Guide applying custom styles is going to give you a great background on the light and dark themes and how to actually create resource dictionaries, which are going to provide you a way of specifying light and dark theme and actually applying that. Now again, you're going to use this when the standard Esri styles and colors are just not going to hit the mark, where you are rolling your own brushes or applying a third-party control or something which is just not going to let you use the Esri standard styles for some reason. And again, as you walk down through this, you can see there's a lot of code in this. And but the idea is that it's going to show you how when you flip between light and dark theme, this custom control is responding based upon the resource dictionaries and how the colors and the hex color codes have been applied based upon the light or dark theme and how it was chosen. So again, if you really need to do this, take a look, and because this is a great way to get started in showing you actually how to actually accomplish this. But again, coming back to the sample, let's take a look at that. Here's the actual custom styling sample. And we just wanted to kind of take a quick look here at what it provides. You can walk through all this in the guide, but again, you can jump right to the sample if you want to take a look and see how it works. Here's the dark colors resource dictionary. You can see that we've got designation for a couple colors here, app white color, and the simple hex value there for white, and here's the hex for black. And here's a dark resources resource dictionary and a couple other colors as they're applied, and actually put in gray in here as well as the hex color value that's used for that. Again, these could be completely custom on however you want to specify these. Finally, here's the dark theme resource dictionary, and these are found down here in the themes folder. This dark theme is the resource dictionary, which is combining the dark colors and dark resources together and referencing both of these in a single combined theme resource dictionary. And so the same sort of thing applies to the light theme as well. But just quickly want to point you to, here's the custom control in design view. And all it really is doing is showing you how you can have a label which is referencing those resource dictionaries that we just took a look at, and how it's set up here just with the label custom text. And if we take a look at the C# code here, you can see that you've got a init resources method here. And this essentially checks the framework application theme property right here. And it's going to load the corresponding custom theme into the user control resources. And the app underscore dynamic resources are actually going to resolve to either the light or the dark themed color, depending upon the current theme setting in Pro. So you can see that it's being set here to dark, and then you're applying the dark theme that we took a look at over here. And or else it's going to apply the light theme. And that's how it works. And so let's take a look and see how this actually works when we run it. And again, the idea is that that custom control that we were just taking a look at is placed into a dock pane, a custom dock pane. And once you open that dock pane, we'll close these from the last sample we took a look at. Come over here to add-ins, and what you get is a show themed dock pane button, and that is going to open the custom dock pane. And you can see that it's working. We're in light theme, so the label is coming through as black, and we're seeing the the appropriate color for this theme. You can see the My Dock Pane. That's the default label that's applied to any dock pane. Is right out of the box when you create a dock pane in the Pro SDK. So let's close this and take a look once we change the theme setting. Let's come back over here and let's go to our general tab and change to the dark theme. Okay. And we're going to close Pro. We'll restart sample and we'll open up in dark theme. And what we want to see is that the label is coming through as white in this case. And there it is. So we can see the dock pane right off the bat. It's showing the custom control. It's black this time and showing as white. So you can see how it applied that property when it was initializing the resources, took a look and applied the dark theme that we wanted. And that's how it works. So thank you again for watching this overview on ArcGIS Pro UI styling using the ArcGIS Pro SDK. And once again, here are the main resource documents and samples that we discussed. And you can find links to each of these in the video information window. Thank you again.